Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. Happy fourth tarot play date. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully you can hear me and see me. All right, let me see who we've got waiting today. Can somebody say hi to me just so I know I'm really for reals live? Anyone? Okay, all right, thank you. All right, let's see who we've got here. I would love to say hi to folks today. All right, we have Dragonfly Whimsy. Simon, you made it. I hope you drove carefully and not too speedily, but thank you. Emma's here. Sandra, Vicky, Becca, The Crooked Path, Jamie, Aquarius Owl. Hi, Heather. Jen, the middle-aged baby witch. Kelly Bear. Diane, I have to say it like that. Kelly Bear. Elle. And let's see, Forever Where. Uh-oh, my thing just jumped. Oh, no. Okay. Hey, Jilly. All right, we have Maharet. I hope I'm saying that right. Jen, Science to Soul. Oh, my chat keeps jumping, you guys. Jen, Science to Soul, who is up so very early. Hey, Selkie. Debbie. The Bastet 777. Elaine. France Claire. Elizabeth. Donna. Hello. Susan. Okay, I think I've said hi to everybody who said hi so far. And to anybody else in the room, I'll just throw out some global hellos. So yeah, it's moving really fast today. Okay, so this last week we had the Knight of Cups and we had a couple of activities. How did everybody do? Like, I saw some posts on Instagram, not so much on Instagram this time, but I did see quite a bit happening in the Tarot Playdate Facebook group, which was really cool to see. I did all of my activities yesterday. I ended up having a crazy work week. And every day, like I had on my calendar, like Tarot Playdate stuff. I just kept moving and moving and moving. So yesterday was all about Tarot Playdate. So you guys probably saw me posting like crazy if you're in the Facebook group or whatever. Demerits for Kelly. Here's the thing that I love about, sorry if I do say so myself, that I love about this. My camera is really like, let me see if I can, there. I feel like I'm looking like really high or something. But what I love about the structure of this is because we're not doing the cards in any kind of order, you can jump in and out, you can go back, you can rewatch, and you're not like missing anything because there's not that kind of structure to it. And I actually think that that's a nice way to do it. I know I didn't lie on purpose, Heather. Heather said I told her I was going to do it last Wednesday. I ended up working until 10 o'clock at night, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday I worked until 11 o'clock at night because there was this sudden deadline that came up at work. So apparently I have to earn money so I can buy these decks and these books and these things. Yeah, busted is what that is. But I have all the excuses in the world, right? Anyway, I did do the Tarot Playdate activity, which was called Strike Up the Band, which once again had nothing really literally to do with the Knight of Cups. But what it did is said, pick out your favorite court card not your favorite. Lay out your court cards of the deck that you're working with and pick out the court card that just kind of screams me the loudest to you. And then, kind of size that court card up and what is it that they want people to see about them and what is it that they don't want people to see about them. And I chose the Queen of Cups. And it was actually a really interesting exercise. And I did post the results of that in the Facebook group. See if I'm missing anything. Thank you, Heather, for letting me off the hook. It is a good excuse, but excuses are still excuses, right? Maybe if I would done it earlier in the week and not procrastinated, right? I also did do the alternate activity, which was to take my Knight of Cups and pull 3 random cards and see how the Knight interacted with those 3 cards. And that one I also posted in the Facebook group. I did do my coloring yesterday too, though. So here we have, I have to say, there was a lot of gray in this one, but I did color my Knight of Cups in my tarot coloring book. So this is kind of a fun addition that I'm bringing into my weekly card relations, if you will. All right. Another thing that I thought I would tell you guys. I'm going to take a sip of tea, and then we will pull a card here very shortly, I promise. I put less pressure on myself on the timeline, too. I blocked out on my calendar an hour and a half. I don't think we'll go that long. I don't want to hold you guys hostage for your day, but I also don't want to get into that real rushy place that I've been getting into. So another thing that I thought that I might do, and tell me what you guys think about this, but you know, every week the video uploads when we're done, and I've been kind of saying, okay, here's a picture of the cards we pulled. Here's the card that we ended up using. Smart Jen. 1.5 hours is probably going to give us a comfortable amount of time. But what I was thinking about doing is this week when the video uploads, I'm not going to so much advertise which card we pull, because I think half of the fun is waiting and seeing which card we are going to get. So I think what I might do is leave it a mystery in like the title and the immediate description for like a week, and then I'll go ahead and post it. I will still post, probably with like a spoiler alert notification, the weekly activities, so that way if you if you're so involved in the chat or you're watching it live, and you need to go back and reference that, I'll still have that available. I'll just try and make it a little more subtle. So, because I think it's kind of fun to wait and see what the surprise is. Okay, I'm glad you guys are kind of liking that. So we've had a few more folks come into the room. I see Sean came in. Hello, Sean. That's a good idea, Kelly. I can do that. I can number them. You know, I've been kind of saying it in the description, but I think you're right. I think that's a good idea. I might add those to the thumbnails. Thank you for that. Hey, Jennifer. All right. So before we pull our card, I'm pretty sure I have. I have my agenda up today so that hopefully I don't miss, going through the reversals and all of that. But first, what I thought I would do is, once again, we want to collect just kind of 5 general questions that we think we can answer with a 1-card pull. So they can be, questions you want to have this card answered today, or it can just be generic just to help us dive deeper into the card. So I have my pad and paper ready. Last time you guys threw out questions so fast. It was awesome. So bring them on. I'm watching the chat. What do we want to answer? Will my week go smoothly, Jilly? Thank you. Yep. What do we need to know for the week? Good. That's not the same too, so that's awesome. Always a good one. What do we, when I try to write fast, it just gets so bad. How do we prepare? Oh my gosh, okay, you guys are throwing this up. How am I going to get through the manic week you have coming up? Is it manic for you, Kelly? All right, I think that'll be covered under the what do we need to know for the week. So I want you to focus on that when we're talking about this card. How do we prepare ourselves for the season? Okay, sorry for the silence. I've got to figure out how to write and talk or something at the same time. How can I not overspend? How to avoid overspending. Oh, that'll be a really interesting one to interpret in a card. Okay. I didn't pass on manic weeks. I just incorporated it into what do we need to know for the week. Okay, I'll supplement it with especially if it's manic. Does that cover everything? I don't want to leave. Oh, okay. I love this. I know there's been a lot, but I really love this, Kelly. How can we bring some Christmas spirit to others? Oh, we're going to have some fun challenges today, you guys. Christmas. Okay, I've got 5. Thank you all so much. How can we bring Christmas spirits to others? That sends a very different meaning now, doesn't it? That's what I wrote down for a second. Okay. All right. So let me put this somewhere. Okay. You guys ready? Last week, you guys, oh my gosh, I watched the chat. I didn't watch the chat back till yesterday either and take my notes. So I still only have my notes typed up. They're not even in my journal yet. So that's why you don't see me showing my little attempt at journaling because, yeah. And don't say I've passed on dropsies, Elle. I just started shuffling. um, but anyway, I watched the chat back and Olga and Stephen Palmer talking about the Knight of Cups. I had missed so much of that, although I think I did see a couple. And then we pulled the Knight of Cups. So I haven't seen anybody manifest any cards just yet, but all right, you guys. And I will try to stall for just a moment after I pull the cards so everybody can rush to the right page in their journal. I noticed there was a frantic scramble last week. Thumbs up. Thank you, Jen. I actually appreciate that. It really helps to know if you guys are enjoying this, whether you're watching it live or whether you're watching it back. All right, we're shuffling. All right. I'm focusing on kind of that main question. What do we need to know for the week, especially if it's manic? Okay. All right. One more shuffle, and here we go. We'll be off to the races. Maybe I should go 11 minutes before pulling a card. I love taking the time pressure off of myself. All right. Oh, I need to tell you guys what happened to my Nine of Cups, too. Whoo! Two of Swords. All right, you guys, this is our first swords. Yeah, so I have to tell you really quick before I dive into this. My Knight of Cups, he went on an adventure. I honestly, that card has completely disappeared from my life. Now, I have this one, but that's because I had to buy an entire new backup deck because he disappeared. He went off to romanticize somebody or romance somebody. I don't know what the heck happened, but anyway. Kelly, you already know what this means for you. All right, let's bring her in here. Let's see if we can get some camera focus. Come on. All right. No, I'm good. I'm covered. All right. So what are we? I really love the Two of Swords too. In fact, this is one of the cards I will often look for in the deck when deciding if I like it. All right. What do we first see in this card? What does it make you think of first? And not necessarily yet in the context of the questions, but just in general. To be discerning, says Kelly. Not seeing the woods for the trees. Yeah, or the forest for the trees. Yeah. Blindness, right? Because of her blindfold. Let me see if I can get better focus. Oh, that's pretty good. Choice, dilemma, rough seas. Right. It looks like she's about to cut her own head off. Well, that's intense. You know, one of my favorite things that I think about when this card is I read Melissa Sanova's book, Kitchen Table Tarot, and she calls this the Shut Up So I Can Hear Myself Think card. And every single time I pull this card, I think of that message. Avoidance, putting barriers in place, defensiveness, standstill, struggle, ready for the unknown ahead, indecision. All right, I'm going to get this propped and closed for you guys here as I read these off. Kelly says, trusting your inner voice or intuition. Debbie says, protecting yourself. D9, hi D9, neutrality. Heather, self-control. Holding those words must be really difficult. Seriously. Like, could you do, I mean, I get tired just holding the card up. Swords. Rough seas, but she can't see it. Mental preparation. At the ready, says Sean. Not wanting to make a choice, Simon. Psychically yours, balancing intuition and logic. Jilly, little Zen, having the strength to make a difficult decision. Kelly says, I see this card as a turning inwards and clearing your mind. Yeah, I often see this as a very introspective card for me. And Elle says, looking inside yourself. Donna, this is telling me to holiday shop online because I'm not going to play nice with people in busy stores because you'll be armed and dangerous. Is that what you mean? Hi, Lori. All right. Olga says burden. L, seeing things with the mind's eye. The psychic knitter. Hello, Carola. Returning to oneself. Elizabeth, you may not want to hurt someone. You may not. Jamie says, with money, the best choice is no choice. I don't know if that's always true. I don't think you can convince me of that, Jamie. Let's see here. Using the force as friends, Claire. Okay, somebody brings to mind Star Wars, huh? Let's see. Oh, Purva, hello. The crossed arms feel like she isn't allowing distractions and other people's opinion affecting her. Time to go within with patience. Yeah, you could probably find Star Wars a lot in the tarot, I suppose, if you really, really tried. Okay, let me see if I can get this a little bit closer. So let's start with, well, wait. No, I don't want to do that yet. Hold on. All right, so let's talk about, stalemate, says D. Defensive, says Jilly. Not wanting to see what's in front of you. Why is with the camera and the focus? Okay, I'm trying. This is why it's good to have a copy of the Rider-Waite-Smith in front of you. All right. Imagination, Olga. Imagination. All right, we've spun out a lot of immediate things just in like the first 5 minutes of this. All right, keep the ideas coming while I take a sip of tea, and then we're going to dive into what the heck. I have a chipped card. All right, you guys don't care about that right now. So let's start taking a look at all the symbols. And while it looks to be a simple card, I think we have a lot we can dive into with this today. Thank you, Jen. You're like my own personal cheerleader. I love it. All right. So when you look at this card, what's the first thing that you saw? Try to remember. Like what jumped out at you first today? Just today. Or in general. Stephen says she doesn't seem disturbed. She is seated, calm, and composed. Patience and discernment. So the basket says the moon. Yeah, the moon jumped out for me today. And you guys, I'm not even sure I usually notice the moon. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it did. It jumped out at me today. The blindfold jumps out for a lot of people. Calm water, says Kelly. The ocean, says Gracia. LSGC, I don't know what that stands for, but hello. The crossed arms, says Jen. The blindfold, rough water. See, that's again, you guys are like my favorite when you give me two different answers. So some people see this water to be calm, others see it to be rough. The yellow socks. Yeah, like little yellow. I probably would hardly notice those until I tried to color it in the coloring book. And I'd be like, oh, those are yellow. Right, Jen, the middle-aged baby witch. I don't think I've ever noticed the moon consciously until today. I look for moon in other decks with this card. It's kind of like the snail that we saw in the Nine of Pentacles, right? Like once you see it, then you find yourself looking for it. The moon is out, the night is coming, says Sean. The huge source, says Heather. The ocean. I see a breeze across the water versus rough waters. So now we've got everything. We've got calm, breezy waters, rough waters. Purvis says the crossed arms. Strange because I always see the crescent moon or water or about choices. It's funny how we all get drawn to different things in the card. Elle says the wide, endless water. I like how you phrase that, Elle. I think it's interesting. So Jilly says, I think it's interesting that the swords are in perfect balance. Can you imagine the strength it takes to hold two swords? That's what I'm saying. I know I didn't finish the sentence, but I just wanted to agree emphatically. Like I said, holding up a paper card is hard. The stone seat, says Heather. Okay, whoever really notices what she's sitting on, right? We blew somebody's mind with the yellow socks. So if we start at and look at each of these symbols, let's start at the top. So let's start with the moon, because I think that's the first thing that somebody said. So what does the moon and the symbol in this card, what does that bring to mind in relation to this card? Like, what does it make you think of? How does it affect your interpretation of the card? Purvis says, yes, maybe swords are here about balancing the mind. You're going to have to email me, and because I know you have my email address, and tell me if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Seeing the other shore, says Olga. The horizon, says Kate. Hi, Kate. Shadow. So, Jen, the moon makes you think of shadow. Oh, Heather says this one has a waxing moon while her card has a waning moon. What deck are you looking at, Heather? Is it the This Might Hurt, maybe? And why is the crescent moon upside down, pouring out instead of holding in? That's an interesting way to look at it. Elizabeth says the moon stands for emotions and intuition. Oh, the Llewellyn Classic. I don't have that one. Yeah, that can really change things, right? Just those subtle little differences. Every time I see the moon, for whatever reason, like the first thing I think of as it relates to tarot and relating it to another card, I always immediately think of the High Priestess, like Moon High Priestess, not even the moon card. I don't really know why that is, but that's kind of what happened in my brain. All right, so we saw the moon. I want to say the Tarot Magician, hello. Okay, so the next thing that I think people really pointed out, oh, the moon cycle, Carola says, the psychic knitter, the moon cycle, nothing ever stays the same, right? Olga, are you saying she's a brave woman in the card or somebody in the chat? I'm sure we've got a lot of those. She's a high priestess of another kind. Yeah, some reason she does invoke that a bit for me. All right, so sorry, I keep turning the card away because I want to look at the next symbol to tackle. Okay, so the next thing I think a bunch of you pointed out for me was the blindfold. Oh, and somebody else's RWS deck, the shoes aren't yellow. Well, we're going to have to talk about that and talk about what other colors we see in these shoes. Simon says, see things from the mind's eye. The realm of the mind and soul starts where the psychic eye can no longer discern. So that comes back to like that discernment too, right? That we talked about earlier. Oh, Gracia says the waxing moon is a signal for you to get moving. Yeah, stop sitting here, not doing anything. Oh, it is a 2 card, the High Priestess. Right. Good call on that. I never even really, I mean, I know the High Priestess is the 2, but I never really thought about that relationship that way. Yeah, I have seen a red blindfold, I think, in quite a few decks. And this is, again, the original, so the coloring could be a little bit, or not the original, it's just called the original. It's not the original. So the coloring could be different for sure, and that sometimes makes a difference. Mental activity, a lack of prejudice with the blindfold. Oh, I love that. Sean says, turning her back to the moon and water energy. Jamie, belief in self behind the blind. Elizabeth says, not seeing clearly. So in some ways, it's maybe making us more insightful or preventing us from seeing. Aquarius L, keeping outside forces on your decision at bay, like not letting those outside influences in. Loving this, loving this. Donna says, I see sleeplessness. She looks dressed for bed, but she's up pondering her thoughts. Yeah, mine could be my little eye mask that I sometimes take with me when I travel, so I can make sure it's dark when I sleep. Lori asks, in a yes/no reading, what would it be? We've never really talked about that. I'll just make a note of that. Okay, I'm gonna just put this down because I can't apparently write, and it might be kind of a fun thing to bring into this, Lori. All right, let's see. The Tarot Magician, to me, it's blocking yourself from seeing what's really going on. Elizabeth, when we don't know all the facts. Heather, focusing on the internal as opposed to the external. Wendy, hello, Wendy. Blindfold, not seeing the problem clearly or not wanting to see the situation for what it really is. The Psychic Knitter, if the swords would be dropped, the person can remove the blindfold and perhaps see things from a different perspective. Good thinking. Yeah, looking at what comes next, right? Gracia, not trusting outside forces, but using your intuition. Lori says this reminds me of justice. Yeah, the balance in this card, right? And the 2 in the balance, we didn't, last week, because it was court card, we didn't really talk about numerology. And I don't know a ton about numerology, but you know, the Two of Pentacles always screams balance at me. I don't ever really pull that right out with this too, but that makes a lot of sense to me now that you say that. Okay. Kelly says, I see the Nine of Swords for that. Oh, with the dressed for bed, but up pondering her thoughts. Donna says, I think in a yes or no reading, this would be to wait. So if you're asking if you should take some kind of action, the answer would be no. But if you should not take action, the answer would be yes. Is that what you're saying, Donna? The blindfold prevents distraction, says the crooked path. Hello, Shadow's Truth. I don't know if I said hello to you yet. Mind your own business, said Kelly. Yep, balance and decisions with the number 2. The Bassett 777. Are you missing a word? It says in the Wildwood Tarot, this card has. I just lost it. Oh, you pulled it back because I was like, I'm missing a very key word, I think. Let's see. All right, so lots and lots and lots that we can look at with the blindfold for sure. All right, so let's talk. You know what nobody said? Nobody mentioned. Are these? Would we think of those as mountains behind the water, or just land? What do you think? Oh, the rocks. So Simon's noticing the rocks, the conscious mind word. I just saw it. Ocean equals subconscious mind. So a balance, maybe that's, where balance comes in again, a balance between conscious and unconscious. Am I kind of taking that in the right direction that you were thinking, Simon? Olga says this looks like an island. Yeah, that could be an island for sure. Oh yeah, same psychically yours. Again, these are things I've never thought about until I look into this and take this deep dive with you guys and gals. And everybody, folks. I know Kelly will say, Jen, just say folks. Wendy, perhaps the arms across stops decision from the heart and ensures decision from the mind. Ooh, now I'm getting some good focus too. Yay. Simon says the other sure is representing not having the ability to see what's on the other side. Yeah, everybody sees an island at the back. Did you guys know it was an island, or did you just see it as an island? Like, have you read that somewhere? Is it just me that never thought that could be an island? Kelly, partnering mind with the swords, heart, the water, and intuition, the moon, body, rocks, integration. Yeah, like a full, well-rounded balance. L, to achieve the unknown and unconscious in oneself and others. I think my camera's higher today. I felt like I had this at a better level last week. See, the island equals solitude. Shadow's truth. Do we need to send you positive thoughts for something? I'm just noticing Donna's comment here. Simon says the ocean usually represents the unconscious mind. So the rock is the conscious mind. That makes a lot of sense. Oh, and 2s can mean partnership. Yes. Yeah, I think it's just me. I think I just never focused on the land behind the water. Just like I didn't see the moon, which is obviously there. Let's see. Oh, hi, Tammy Pie. Maybe she's on an island. Yeah, maybe there's an island here and an island there. The ground she's on is very smooth. It looks like concrete. Yeah, it looks super concrete. So it almost looks to me like maybe she's, outside at some kind of an estate where they have waterfront property, just like hanging out. I wonder if we did like the reverse tarot, if she'd be looking at a big, ginormous house of some kind. Is she sitting on the Scottish throne, that Robert the Bruce sat on? Is that what you're saying, Selkie? I don't know any of those references, but I'd be interested to know more. Oh, Shadow's truth. You will be in my thoughts as well. A lot of people maybe don't know this, but my son is transgender. He has given me permission to talk about this on my channel, and love and support is very, very important. But no, it's okay. You can make noise in class. This is not class, you guys. This is a coming together, an enjoyable experience. We can chat with each other. All right. D9 says barrier island slows down the waves. So what do you guys think about, because somebody pointed this out, the significance of her seat, of where she's sitting? Do you think that matters? The psychic knitters, oh, Franz Clare said, thinking for yourself, the psychic knitters, sometimes obstacles are exaggerated by our own mind, like the rocks in the water. On the other hand, sometimes we should shut off others to think clearly and decide what action is best for us. Yeah, we really have to trust our intuition, the moon, when looking at this card, don't we? Simon said, anyone spot the white patch on the forehead? Here we go. Let's see if we can. Yeah, is that? I think I just assumed that was a coloring error. Does that have significance, Simon? Kelly, the stone that would make kings in the early days in Scotland, the stone of Scone. The stone of Scone. Okay. Kelly, you know you're my history buff, so I'm going to have to learn some stuff. Oh, I misunderstood, Donna. Oh, gosh, I'm so sorry. Okay, lots of thoughts. Not the same. Sorry, I misinterpreted that. The third eye. Oh, all right. That makes a lot of sense. Steven says a solid foundation, right? The seat that she's on here. Olga said it looks like a flaw in the drawing, but I like this concept of the third eye. I can go with that. On the universal, it just looks like her forehead. Is it like colored, like skin colored? It is it's a little off center. Hey, you know what though? In all honesty, though, it still fits, right? So whether it's a mistake or whether it's intended to be like that, I think that's pretty cool. I'll roll with it. This is known as the Stone of Destiny, says Heather. Let's see. Okay, lots of people don't have the little patch. I wish if I had my centennial handy, I'd pull that out just to kind of compare the difference. Yeah, see, I thought it was a part in her bangs, Donna. Stephen, she looks like she is in meditation. Oh, Simon says it's intentional. You guys, we might be being schooled here. It does make sense. Oh, it's white on the centennial. Okay, Jamie. Thanks for coming. All right. The Stone of Scone is also known as the Stone of Destiny. Okay. All right. I'm learning. Okay, that's interesting, Donna. It is the same. Everybody interprets it differently. All right. So we've talked about the moon. We've talked about the blindfold. I think we've also talked kind of a lot about the rocks in the water. Anybody see anything else that you'd kind of like to point out from a symbology or numerological, that's a hard word to say, standpoint on this card? Oh, Elle says it's referenced as the white patch on forehead rather than her actual forehead. Where's that reference? So if people want to read up on it, Elle. Oh yeah, we never really talked about what she's wearing. Good call, Forever Wear. It looks like nun, priest robes, habits that she's wearing. Very simplistic wardrobe here. You know, sometimes we see a lot of ornate and symbols and colors on the wardrobe, but this is not that way. Oh yeah, we got to talk about the shoe color too. Of course, we see yellow in some decks. We see bare feet in others. I think, Olga, we kind of talked about from the numerological perspective, you know, this balance and decisions choice with the number 2. It is in the Ultimate Guide. See, I know Simon has that book. I need to get it. It's still on my wish list, but I'm not allowing myself to buy anything like that until after Christmas. Okay, so you guys, all of us who assume this is just a part in the bangs is apparently intentional according to the Ultimate Guide. Kelly says the shoes are muted in her centennial. Victorian pajamas, says Olga, about what she's wearing. Heather says it looks like a goonie, which is just a Doric word for night dress, which I love to use at every available opportunity. I've never heard the word goonie before other than the movie, right? The rocks could present pillars of severity and mercy, her balance between the two, right? With these on either side of her. Underwear. Yeah, a night dress. It definitely does look like that to me. Yes, I know, Simon. I've got to get that book. Especially like after too, when I'm watching this back and kind of comparing everybody's thoughts to what's in the book. Elle is forever going to use the word Goonie now. All right, we have done a lot of looking at this card. All right, so once again, I have 5 other decks that we can look at. I ran out of time with one of them because it was the deck I was using this week. And so, but I tried to get it at least in suits order so I could hopefully find it pretty quickly. These, again, I randomly draw from a random name generator. So whatever mix we get, it's not me choosing because I never know what card we're going to get anyway. It's just random decks from my collection. Some you'll like, some you probably won't. All right, let's see. The gray clothing represents a state of being neutral, objective, composed, without being prejudiced, and balanced and fair. So that makes a lot of sense with all these interpretations that we have of this card. Thank you, Simon. All right, everything is balanced. A shift or chemise in the traditional term. All right. I'm going to pull the 2 of Swords now. So the deck that I was working with this week was the Tarot Grand Lux by Tarot Marchetti. And I know not everybody is a fan, but that's what I've been working with. So I'm going to quickly, hopefully, grab that. Again, I have the swords all together. Oh, good. We got that pretty quick. All right. So this is very different. So tell me what you think when you see this. Now, let's also bring into how we want to answer our questions. So we'll talk about some of the differences we see in this card. And the first question that we had is, will my week go smoothly? So this is a 2-parter. This is the 2 of Swords from the Tarot Grand Lux. All right, I'm gonna get this closer, so I'm gonna cover my face for a minute. There we go. Heather says, I like that you can still see her eyes through the veil. I kind of like that too. The veil is not completely complete blindfold. Yeah, Kelly says it makes me think of the High Priestess. Wonder, I was working with this deck this week. I wonder if that kind of brought that to mind for me too. Heather says this speaks more of seeing things from a new perspective rather than being entirely blind. Is Maha here? Did Maha sneak in? Oh, or Maharet. She's looking through the veil. Definite High Priestess vibes. The thin veil of perception. Yeah, I think that's really one of the major differences. Also, what's different, right? These swords, her arms are not crossed. What do you think do you think that changes the meaning of this card? Piercing the veil with her, what does that say? Stabby daggers. And the veil is actually connected to her daggers. She looks more receptive in this one, says Kelly. The swords, yep, in the same direction, parallel rather than crossed. It still feels very balanced to me, so I'm not sure that potentially, but maybe without the crossed arms, there's less guardedness or defensiveness or closed offedness. Does she seem more open? She looks like she put out her eyes. She does look a bit badass, Kelly, that's for sure. Selkie says she has the knowledge and not telling, or she's thinking she does not. Anne, hi Anne. Things will go smoothly if you don't express all that you're thinking. So that you're bringing it back to the question. Thank you. So will my week go smoothly? So if you keep a little bit to yourself, sometimes I would be better off that way as well. The swords both point up like the sword of justice. Yes. She's still protecting her chest. Yeah, she's still got, she's still here, and she's got a bit of armor here, doesn't she? Is that a tiara she's wearing? It's very beautiful. Let's see. It's more like a headdress or a headpiece. Yeah, it's really pretty. Tammy Pie says, the crossing of swords speaks to a moment when you'd stopped fighting for a minute. Here it's just 2 swords. So maybe she seems a little bit more ready to battle still. Heather, things will go more smoothly if you allow yourself to see things from different perspectives and take the middle ground. Gracia says, yes, she seems more open. Also, maybe more of one solution to the same problem rather than being pulled in two different directions. So maybe more of a straight path. Her third eye is covered. Maybe time to use it, says Selkie. Ooh, good observation there. The crooked path. Things will not be immediately apparent, but keep looking. She looks poisoned together, so I'd say smoothly, but be careful of being too guarded, says Jen. Bye, Wendy. Thank you for coming. L reminds me of the direct versus indirect realism topic in philosophy, with both the veil, then with the two opposing swords. Well, now we have to all go Google that philosophy topic. Kelly says there's no moon or water in this, so there's a much different feel. Yeah, this close-up perspective, and he does this quite a bit in his decks, takes away some of that background and environment that we might use to pull meaning into this card, for sure. Looks like she's using the blindfold like a veil, keeping others from seeing her. That maybe she can still see out, huh? Her eyes are open. L blew Tanny Pie's mind with her philosophy reference. Yeah, I kind of miss the landscape a bit, I'll have to say. It does look like she's wearing armor. So your week will go smoothly if you're careful and prepared for battle. I might be taking it a bit too literally there. The psychic knitter says self-confidence. Okay. All right. So that's one of our alternative cards. She's not protecting her heart. Yeah, it's a little bit, it's hard to say what's going on down there underneath there, though, huh? She's alert but detached, guardian vibe. Or she has an alert but detached, guardian vibe. All right. I like to take a sip of tea between cards. All right, so my next deck, oh, you guys, this I kind of laughed out loud when I pulled this deck. So our next question is, what do we need to know for the week, especially if it's manic, especially for Kelly there. And this deck I have not used yet since I brought it. I bought this on a whim one day. I was like, oh, I must have this. The Happy Tarot. So this is going to send a very different vibe, I think, than the Chira Marchetti version of this card. I don't know why, you guys. I look at this and I just see all these sweets and goodies. All right, so that is a 6, 4, 3, and a 2. Okay. All right. Here is our, yeah, we get cute now. Here is our, oh, glossy. Okay, so let me pull it up close and then I'll pull it back. There we go. That's a pretty decent focus, I think. The Cutie Patootie deck. This is really cute. It makes, I didn't realize, because I haven't worked with it yet, I pulled it out last night and I just thought I could not help but smile as I looked through it really fast. The Council of Creatures in this version. Yes, Kelly. All the little sweet animals. We have a lot of ahs and loving the cuteness of this deck. It does. It makes me happy too. I like that we have the moon. Now notice the moon is facing kind of a similar direction as my Rider-Waite. I'm trying to put my head in the middle, as this Rider-Waite Smith. But now we have stars too. And this is night. I mean, this is still nighttime, but it's not dark. I did not trim it. It came like this, Kelly. This is such a hug deck. Yeah, the moon and the stars. Exactly, Olga. That was kind of the first thing that sort of grabbed my attention. Oh, we're already making Sandra want this deck. Is she wearing a blanket? You know, it looks like she's wearing like a big comfy, you know, big sleeved robe maybe. Okay, focus camera. There we go. Yeah, I just got this on Amazon here in the US, and this is the version that I got. I don't know if there's an older one that has borders or not. It must be, Kelly. It sounds like you. Oh my gosh, I had no idea. You know, every week there's kind of one card. Like we had the crystal unicorn, and everybody went Googling. All right. Yeah, I would love I think I would like to see the borderless magical forest. All right, so does anything else jump out to anybody in this card? See, I'm looking at this for a minute. So here we have more kind of a mountain landscape in the back. And we have waters that I think look a little bit choppier than they did in the original, right? Maybe a lot of it. The Psychic Knitter, for the week ahead, if we focus on staying calm and unfazed by chaos, we can be an example to others and to ourselves on how to proceed ahead. Lovely interpretation for the week ahead. Yeah, we all got caught up in, oh, that's so cute. we forgot to interpret and answer our question. Still got the stone throne. Yep. But what is this landscape? Like, it's kind of like, so this looks like it's kind of like a stone throne in a meadow rather than, there we go. See that? And you don't see her feet this time, so no shoes. But rather than being on that slab of concrete, oh, Simon has this version with borders. Huh. Yeah, so there's a borderless version, guys and gals and folks. This one seems to be at night where the other one looks like daytime. Yeah, even though you see the moon, it does feel more daytime in that other card. The wooden swords don't get splinters, though all of the swords are wooden in this deck. Yeah, they're maybe a little less dangerous in this deck. Let's see. Wooden swords equal practice, says Al. Now that's a really interesting concept, right? Yeah, whenever I watched, I don't know, when I watched Game of Thrones and Arya was learning, right? Did she have to start with a wooden sword? And didn't it make her mad? Or I might be making that up. Jen, Science to Soul. Yes, the rough waters in this say to me that you can get through the week more smoothly by going within. Elaine, I think the original the original is Winter Dusk and Happy Tarot's Nighttime. Yeah, Winter Dusk makes the original more stark. Yeah, I could see that, although she's very scantily dressed for winter. Looks like she's deciding which poor kitty to club, says Anne. Oh, not in this deck. Surely not. This card feels to me the animals are coming for support to figures sitting on the stone. They are in need of counsel. So not only does she maybe need to make decisions for herself, but for others as well. Okay. Oh, Sandra's enabling Simon. You start with a wooden sword in Zelda, when you're Link in Zelda, the game. Stick them with the pointy end. Yes, exactly, Kelly. But just remember that. There's no pointy end on this wooden sword, though. Not hard. Well, there is, but not hardly. All right, so I send everybody into deck list with this card. So do we all feel like we're going to have a smooth week ahead? Kelly, does your manic week feel a little bit better after seeing this lovely, cute Two of Swords? Deckless. You know, at least it didn't come out with other vowels. It could have been worse. All right. All right. We are 2 alternate cards in, so I suppose I'll keep us going here. All right. Our next question was, how do we prepare ourselves for the season? This next deck is also one that I brought into my collection some time ago, and I've never worked with, and I'm really hoping it shows up on camera better than I think it will. And this one is the Celestial Tarot. I don't know if you recognize the backs. These got some borders on them, so I'm going to have to get this close up. It's kind of one of the reasons I haven't really worked with it yet. Okay, apparently we have swords after pentacles in this deck. There we go. Oh, everybody wants it. You know, it's a very affordable deck. So, okay, now you guys, I totally thought I was going to get mocked for having the Happy Tarot. It makes me so happy that you guys see the good in having that deck. All right. Oh my gosh, you guys. All right, I don't even think I can hardly see this in person. All right, so this deck has a lot of astrological associations that I don't know or understand yet. So I'm going to put this up really close and then I'll pull it back and we'll talk about it. Come on. There we go. Okay, that seems to be a good focus point right there. Yeah, this is different. Hi, Jilly. Welcome back. We are looking at the Two of Swords in the Celestial Tarot. Sirius Black, is that you? Right? So we have the, I do recognize the symbol for Libra there because, well, I'm a Libra, so I get that. I honestly, if anybody knows what that symbol is, I would love for, thank you, Heather. She's like, is that the symbol for Uranus? Which constellation is this? I feel that will give us our meaning. You know, I have the book on my wish list. I could look it up in the little white book, unless anybody has this and knows right away. Let's see. I'm going to try and hold this up. That song, Hungry Like a Wolf, comes to mind. Oh, look at this, you guys. I'm almost doing this one-handed. Okay. Three of Cups. Pentacles. Swords. One-handed. Oh, sorry. I didn't keep it up. So lupus. Oh, and it actually says lupus there at the top. Lupus, the wolf, illustrates the polarity of the Two of Swords. Known as a wild beast to many cultures, the classical Greeks saw lupus as the animal Chiron offered as a sacrifice at Ara, the altar. Sorry, paused there. Symbolically, the wolf represents the savage or primitive feelings being offered to the gods. Two swords suggest conflict or cross purposes. However, the mythic underpinnings of the card suggest the need to sacrifice the instinctual and reactionary responses for a more balanced and reflective approach. So that's from the book of the Celestial Tarot. Okay. Yeah, everybody's singing Duran Duran, Hungry Like a Wolf. Ever since I saw the Diane Downs story, I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, that song has always taken a bit of a negative context for me. All right. This, Sandra, is the Celestial Tarot. So this is what the box looks like since I have it out here. L is found for people. A huge fudge. Seriously, Donna? Like, really? I can't read it out loud. I just can't. All right. This card doesn't speak to me at all. Yeah, this is very, to me, this really pulls kind of an esoteric kind of vibe. Okay, everybody's off. Everybody's off on Toilet Humor Road, I think. All right, does anybody, so remember our question. All right, this is challenging, but how do we prepare ourselves for the season? Two of Swords, you can focus on it, whether you focus it on it with this card here. I'll bring our original back just in case you need a little help on how to answer. How do we prepare ourselves for the season? And I think we mean holiday season by that. Being careful with others, says the Bastet 777. Yeah, I don't know what that symbol is. It didn't tell me in the book. Oh, you know what? There might be a symbol guide in here. This is like the tiniest book, though, like tiny. I can't do it. True, Kelly. Hibernate. Hibernate to deal with the season. Don't shred your horrible uncle. Yeah, maybe put your swords away if you need to, or protect yourself, says Aquarius Al. I'm ignoring you, Al. Take a more balanced approach to the holidays, says Forever Wear. Oh my God. You guys are cracking me up. Stay out of political debates. You know, that's just good advice regardless of what card you get, right? Unless you know you have a family who can handle it well, or around people who can handle it well. Lori says, if you look at the overall picture, you do see a tree with lights. It does look like a Christmas tree. I can see it. Anne says, all I can see is it looks like to take a protective stance, even an aggressive approach. Interesting. Shadow's Truth says, keep an open view. All right. Find quiet moments when you need them, but balance with festive fun. Yeah. Now, what do we think? In all these other ones, the swords point up. So, just for a moment, so these swords point down. Do we think that means anything? The psychic nurse says, working on our inner peace, battling our mind weasels by not giving them food for thought. For the holiday season, stay calm by not lowering your standards or energies to please others. Olga says, put down your weapons. Of course, Al, he's in the sky. Yeah, the Celestial Tarot, I think a lot of it takes place in the sky for sure. Let's see. Jen says, take yourself or your mind out of the situation if needed. Emma Tarot Dude says, the swords look like fangs. They kind of do. I get where you're saying that. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Jen. Cheerleader Jen at the ready. Do the inner work, says Al. Stop finding outward distractions. I like that. All right. 2 more cards to go. Don't forget to vote. Is it voting time in the UK, Kelly? All right. Now we have a very different deck. Again, this is actually, we have quite an eclectic mix this time. So for our 4th question, how to avoid overspending. So think about that as it relates to the 2 cards in general. You guys have voted. That's good. Very responsible. This is the Naked Heart Tarot by Jillian Weil. A lovely human she is. All right. Oh, I like this. What do you think? So here we have, a much more simplistic style, but a lot of key elements here. The anchor, yeah, that adds kind of a new element, doesn't it? Artistry of Tarot. I just ordered the Happy Tarot, and then you tell me to avoid overspending. Well, somebody asked, like, how can you avoid? Probably by not putting it in your shopping cart. But a weighty decision, says Kelly. Heather can't with the deck. There's literally nothing to work with. I disagree, Heather. I do, I actually really held off on getting this for a long time because I was intimidated by it. I thought exactly the same, like I wouldn't have enough to work with. But when I saw the whole deck laid out on a table at Northwest Tarot Symposium last year, I just thought it's so gorgeous. So, when we talk about, and maybe you guys are saying it because you guys, oh, hey, Robin. The 2 of Swords, I was at Cross Purposes Today tarot class or meeting with visiting friends. Friends got to take precedent a lot of the time. Something weighing heavy on you, says Sandra. Yeah, the way that I would interpret this, like how to avoid overspending, it's like really think on your decisions, right? Stay grounded, maybe. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Down to earth decision or grounded decision. Exactly. Okay. I'm not the only one who thought of this. All right. I got to scroll up because I missed a lot as I was staring at the card. I missed the chat. So the weight of the world, there are feathers on the swords, right? So the handles, look at that, you guys. Come on. There we go. Right. So there are feathers on the hilts of the swords there, or the handles, hilt. I don't know sword terminology. Balanced, says Selkie. The anchor is similar to the stone seat and platform, right? That anchoring down. Yeah, I like that. Good call. Cut up your credit and debit cards with the 2 sources, Laura, to keep from overspending. Throw your purse in the sea. The anchor will something. It scrolled too fast. This is the Naked Heart Tarot, Simon. The air symbol, right? Yeah, so she has on her deck, she has like the element symbols on all of her cards. Sorry, put this back. Anchor is also a symbol of being anchored in something. It replaces the stone. Yep. The swords are bound together with the rope. And we still have the moon too, right? We still have the moon.
Buying gifts for all, weighing down your mind. Don't let the sea of holiday spending take you away. Anchor yourself in a realistic budget. That's a very great, that is a great interpretation, Gracia, of that. Selkie says, count to 10 before you are parted with your money. Olga says, the anchor is also a symbol for hope. Oh, Kiana, not Keanu. Kiana, I'm sorry you're feeling icky, but hello. Oh, Simon, you have it? Do you have her first or second edition? Because I know she sent out some second editions for review. Balance is in a balanced budget, right? Yeah, so planning, budgeting, grounding, you know. I find I am much smarter with my spending when I do more of my Christmas shopping online than when I go to the stores, when I am anchored in my office chair. Let's see. All right. You have the second? Yeah, she's made some changes. This one's the first. She's made some changes that I think are really lovely in the second edition. All right. Anybody else have any other thoughts on this card before we switch to our fifth and final? Hi, Anna. Welcome. Olga says you overspend in a web shop rather than when you're out. Yeah, maybe actually having to fork out your credit card rather than just click buttons has a different different influence on folks. The Bastet says, if you don't keep your balance, you'll lose your safe haven. Oh, there were errors in the first? I got kind of, I think from her, I think my stash is kind of from her last bit of her first edition printing. And it says, I think it's like there is a strong feeling or idea caving in the person. I'm not quite sure I follow that. But I might have interpreted that wrong. Willful avoidance, says Dee. All right, we have one more deck that came up randomly. This one should be fun, I think. At least I hope. All right, and our fifth question that we said, oh, this is a good one too. I loved this question. Olga says, I love the anchor, but my mind goes blank. Well, yeah. Look, you know, sometimes when we all connect to different things in the imagery, right? So the fifth question that we came up with is, how can we bring the Christmas spirit to others? And my fifth deck is, I know most of you probably recognize what this is. Oh, Jennifer, it's your soul deck. The naked, I can see that because you are an animal deck person too. So that makes a lot of sense to me. All right, so we have here the Two of Swords from our Light Seers. And here the swords are represented by these ravens or these crows. So what does this call to mind for you? There we go. Open yourself up. Don't close yourself off to the world, says Jen. It looks like they are attacking her. Yet to me, this is much less calm, steady decision making. This really invokes a different feeling in me when I see this card. Mental conflict, says Foreverware. Don't let aggressive tendencies get in your hair. Robin, I can always count on you with these. Yeah, this speaks more of the conflict. Are her arms dirty or bruised? Tattooed? And, you know, it does look like this dirt is flying up here. But does that look like scratches? It almost looked like scratches to me. What do the ravens represent? Asked Lori. Oppression, says Anna. The ravens alert her to something, says Maharet. Heather called out, whoopsie. There it is, you guys. It was just a little one, though. It is just a little one. Alfred Hitchcock, is he in your head with this card? So now when you see this card, this is really challenging for me. Yeah, is she tied to the ravens? So Here we go. Yeah, it looks like they're pulling on her hair to me, is what it looks like. Jilly says, don't ravens have a fabulous memory? Like her memories are attacking her. The crooked path. Don't let chaotic thoughts stop you from embracing the good things coming up. Silky, standing up for yourself. They free her, says Maharet. Interesting. Stephen says, Odin's two ravens are represent memory and thought. What are the symbols on her elbow? I think they look like the cross keys of the higher. Oh, they kind of look like the cross keys. I don't really know. Forgive the bad close-up of the nails. Guess what I'm doing today after this? Maybe they are trying to free her, says Sandra. Saki says, bullying ravens. Sprinkling that fairy dust for Christmas, no matter what's distracting you. So don't allow distractions to get in your way or to stop you from enjoying the holidays or spreading the holiday spirit. This looks like mad Christmas shoppers fighting over the best bargain. They want her hair for their nest. You know, when did that, I feel like the mad fighting for toys happens somewhere around, that Elmo doll. Does everybody remember? Or in Cabbage Patch Kids. I'm dating myself when I say these things, but they look like scales on her elbow. Yeah. And the sword's in the air, right? Are they the air symbols? Yeah, they do look like that. Come on. Yeah. Oh, and those are kind of like that cross, like kind of like the cross swords, I feel like. 1982 Cabbage Patch dolls. Yeah, that was nuts. I remember. It does have a Black Friday vibe. The balanced air and the symbols on her arm. Lori says, I think if she were to stay still, she could become untangled. So maybe if she stopped fighting and really settled into that. Where's my original? Here it is. Settled into that. Oh, look, crossed arms, Jen. Let's do that. I never got I got a Cabbage Patch baby. I didn't get the dolls that were so popular. I felt a little gypped when I got the little baby. Let's see. What was the question? How can we bring Christmas spirit to others? Jen still has her Cabbage Patch doll. She doesn't really look very frightened seeing her mouth. Here we go again. Right? She doesn't look stressed, like in her face and in her expression. I'm sorry about the Cabbage Patch doll reference. All right. Teeter totter on her arm. Yeah, playful vibe. Still has to stay balanced though, right? All right. So today we had our Two of Swords from our original. We looked at our Ciro Marchetti. The ever so cute Happy Tarot. Psychically Yours says, makes me think of bringing cheer to those who, because many are depressed this time of year. Yes. What is her choice to wear the blindfold all about, asks Robin. Is it a choice? Do we know that? Maybe it is. We had our Naked Heart. This was our stumper this week for some. And the Celestial, that was kind of interesting. And then we had our Light Seers. Forever Wear says, understand the conflicts that others are going through and to be understanding. I like that. Selkie says, take your blindfold off and enjoy yourself, and maybe help others take their blindfolds off as well. Okay, so let's talk about our activities for the week. Okay, we can put the 9 of Cups away, Jen. All right. This week, the book activity is all about working with all of the court cards again. Why do they do that to us? And the Two of Swords. I don't get it. I really, there's fun activities here. I honestly do not understand the relationships with the cards, though. So this week, if you have the Tarot Playdate book and you would like to participate, or Tarot Playdate, oh, I just tried to hijack their name, the Tarot Playbook. Reversed, you guys. Oh my gosh. Every time. Thank you, Lori. Oh, now I just drank coffee all over my face. All right, let's talk about this. Reversed or challenged. Oh, we could go into this forever. It's a good thing we reserved extra time today, or at least I did. I hope you did. All right. Herman says, or Herman. Simon's ditching the book and doing our activities. Reversed, challenged, 2 of Swords. Yeah. What I like about this book, and it is the intent of this book is to connect with your cards overall and with your deck. You know, how they associated each of these different activities really, I haven't figured out how it relates to whichever card. So it's really intended not to help you connect with this card so much as it is with whatever deck you want to connect with and get to know it that way. So I like that perspective of it, but I like our activities because they are more kind of themed along with the card. Herminator, if you please. Yes, I saw that in the chat when I watched it back. All right, so when we flip this on its head, for those of you who do read reversals, or we read this in a challenge position, yeah, I can't. I really, like, I feel like they should have just, I mean, I guess it's nice because we can, I don't know why they have the card references. The only thing I guess it's good for me is it helps us randomly pick a deck activity for the week. That's how I'm going to look at it. All right. Indecision, but without the calmness, says Gracia. I'll be back. Terminator. Let's see. More reversed meanings. Emotions. Oh, here we go. Psychically yours said, emotions getting in the way of making balanced decisions. So, right. We have other activities, so don't you folks worry. Robin says, reverse for me. Put your blades down and take off your blinders. Yeah, so we'll just look at this as not a way to connect with the card, but just a generic activity for the week that's guided by whatever card we pull to help us randomly select that activity. She's literally up in the air when she's reversed. It's interesting to me. The shaping on this card is really interesting when you look at it upside down. I don't typically read reversals, but that chemise is going to end up over her head. She's going to be very exposed if that happens. Yeah, unable to make a rational decision, says the Crooked Path. I'm actually going to leave this upside down. I don't usually, but I think I'm gonna. It's kind of fun to look at it that way. A different kind of moon, right? The moon is facing a different direction now. Yeah, I don't want people to call me ma'am. Simon's commenting that he feels old when he's referred to as Mr. When people say ma'am, I'm like, really? Am I a ma'am? I know I am, but yeah, this would be a naughty deck if her chemise flipped down over her. Or what is it? A goonie? Is that what Heather called it? Struggle between thoughts and emotions, says Gracia. Earth and water are weighing her down. Indecision. I like that, Foreverwhere. Almost like she has her head underwater, says Stephen. Yeah, not being able to have that clear mind. I love that. The queen is referred to as ma'am. Well, of course. So I get it. I get what you're saying. Like when I'm called ma'am, I'm like, they're calling me their queen. I like that. Maybe I can go with that after all. Unicorn Oracle, hello. Upside down, Robin says, I see a smirking face where her head is the nose, rippled in the water, her eyes and the moon to one side, a smirking smile. So when you see all of those things, Robin, how do you then interpret this card? What do you think? All right. Ma'am is in ham, not ma'am is in farm. I don't even know where you're going, Simon. Holding a center of gravity, says Unicorn Oracle. Oh, she's a bit sarcastic. Yeah. Snide. Definitely less balanced, I would say. Upside down, it's a lot harder to be balanced. I'm going to have to go back and read the chat, figure out what you all are talking about. Okay, I have one final question for you. So if somebody said that we kind of talked about a little bit earlier. Elle says it reminds me of the hangman, but she's not allowing that process and blocking it by holding herself up with the swords. Yeah, there's more effort, right? Rather than being suspended, you're being pushed up. That's a really interesting thought, Elle. I like that. Oh, saying ma'am and not marm. Is that what you're saying? Do people say that? Failure to make a decision, says Kiana. Yeah. Elle, I really like that, what you said. So way back when, I kind of wrote down at a last minute, how would you use this card to answer a yes or no question? And not everybody does that with the tarot. We had somebody say earlier, maybe it means you wait or you don't act. So if I were to say, let me see if I can come up with some kind of generic question. Should I brave the Christmas crowds today? Yes or no? How would you answer that question with this card? And I'm going to keep going on some of the other thoughts people had. So Gracia said, so upside down means move, make a destination, and reverse means rest and wait. Robin says, I think it's a maybe card. Elle gets deep, Jen. Don't be shocked. She gets deep. Wait for another day. Yeah, everybody's like, yeah, maybe now not the time, or you need to think on it some more. I like the idea of this being a maybe card. It actually makes a lot of sense to me. Okay, one of these days, next week, I'm not going to forget that we want to talk about the reversed and challenge position. What was the question again? Oh, I was just throwing out an example, Olga, of a yes/no question. I think I said, my question was, should I go out and brave Christmas crowds today? I personally am not going to. I'm going to a Broadway show, meeting my son tonight, so no Christmas crowds for me. Yeah, Kiana agrees with Robin that it's a maybe card. All right, now we'll talk about the Tarot Playbook. Tarot Playbook. I cannot steal their book. Activity that has nothing to do with the Two of Swords. It's just guiding us to a random activity in the book. That's how we're interpreting this. Let's see here. And this is about laying out the court cards, picking one that looks a little moody, a little schemy. And then you're going to focus on that card and then imagine that card's journey into the heart of darkness has already begun. Oh, this sounds interesting. Look at that cute penguin picture, though, you guys. It's so cute. Anyway, if you have the book and you want to do that activity and want to post about it, either in the Tarot Playbook, oh, geez, I can't get this right now. This is what I get for naming it so close. The Tarot Playdate Facebook group or on Instagram. Don't forget our hashtag on Instagram is Tarot Playdate. And then I'm going to pull up our activity. Yeah, I actually think this sounds kind of dark and twisty. You might like it, Kelly. Sounds dark and twisty. You might like it. That tells you what I think. All right. Our alternate activity for the Two of Swords. Two of Swords. Oh, this is a big one. Okay, so, this one's an Elle special, you guys. All right, this one's called A Time for Reflection. Oh, I loved this one. This is, I think, the first activity that Elle gave me. This is going to be a lot of words. I'm going to read them, but I'll post this in the description box below when I load this video. I just might try and push it down a bit so people don't see it right in the blurb. I'll kind of put a spoiler alert, and I will post it in the Tarot Playdate Facebook group as well. Elle, if you're handy with your links, if you want to post that for anybody who hasn't yet joined, it's kind of a fun place to see a recap of what we've done. Share anything that you've done throughout the week that kind of connects to Tarot Playdate. It doesn't have to be just for this week. It could be any of the prior weeks, however you get caught up. But I'll have this there as well. And I said I would do this last week, and then I didn't. I just realized it, so I'll be better this time. All right, this activity is called A Time for Reflection, 6 Mirrors of Self-Reflection. Draw 6 cards from your deck to represent the following mirrors. So the idea here is this looking inward, right? So
Your first card is going to represent the rear view mirror. What past experiences need re-examining in order to proceed forward, or what past experience needs re-examining? The wing mirror, what are your blind spots in this experience that needs identifying? The funfair mirror, what's perhaps distorting our perception from identifying the lesson within this experience? So this is basically a big spread. The magnifying mirror, what needs closer examination in order to avoid mistakes in the future? The shop window, it's not really a mirror, but it's reflective nonetheless. What is your subconscious trying to tell you? And finally, the bathroom mirror, how does knowing this shed light on this past experience? What is your next step? I really hope you weren't trying to scramble to write that down, because that's a lot of words, so I promise I will post this. Does that make sense to everybody? So it's kind of a spread with 6 cards, and you're going to kind of lay those out to represent these different mirrors. So it's really meant for some inner reflective work. I told you Elle goes deep, right? She does. All right. Does anybody have any final questions for me? Ooh, I do have one thing I just want to note for you guys. Once again, I want to thank all the moderators in the room and in the Facebook group. You guys have been doing awesome. Really appreciate it. Couldn't do it without you. Also, I know that this 78-week series is going to take a while, but every once in a while we are going to have to take a little bit of a break. I will be here next week for Tarot Playdate. That's Sunday, the 15th of December. But the following Sunday, the 22nd, so the week right before Christmas, I will actually be traveling. So I will be at an airport, not really able to do this. So we're going to get a day off on December 22nd. But don't forget about us. Make sure we come back. And I will be back the following week. So we're here next week, and I'll announce this again next week. But I just thought I'd give people some notice so we know that there's, oh, is that solstice? I never know if it's the 21st or the 22nd. I guess you got to pay better attention. But so just a heads up, you'll get a free day in December. Thank you all so much for once again making this fun and awesome. There were a lot of laughs. I really enjoyed it. And I really hope you'll get to see us when you wake on your birthday. Okay, what day is your birthday, Jen? Now you have to tell. So the Sunday between Christmas and New Year you're on. Yes, I should be. I have that like whole 4 days off or whatever, so I should be here. All right, the 16th. Oh, I'm a 16th baby too. All right, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for hanging with me for our longest play date yet. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you're able to manage the craziness of the holidays this week, and you can take this advice. Please let me know how it goes with your Two of Swords. I really love to know. So post it wherever you want to, and I hope you guys, have a great rest of the day. I'm sending lots of love as always. Talk to you next time.